Hi, I'm Michael Foley, and today I'm going to teach you guys how to punch. First things first, we need to talk about how to make a fist. One of the biggest problems with punching is making impact with the wrong part of your hand. What I want you to do is you're going to stretch your fingers out like this, then you're going to curl your knuckles back underneath here. When you do this, I want you guys to wrap your fingers underneath like this, and then your thumb goes over the top of your fingers like this, locking this position. Most hand injuries I see from punching happen when people make impact with the wrong part of their fist. You want to make impact with your top two knuckles right here, from your index finger and your middle finger, and you want it to be as flat to the surface that you're hitting as possible. There are several different philosophies on how to punch. One philosophy is that you keep your hand open until the very last second before you punch, and then you make a fist before you make impact. The problem with that is it doesn't account for if my opponent moves towards me with their forehead or pulls back, leaving their chest as the target that I'm going to hit. In that situation, when my hand actually makes impact with their head, my fist isn't going to be completely closed. So I'm going to be hitting with my smaller finger, my smaller knuckles, or with an open fist. And personally speaking, that's how I've broken my hand on several occasions. I've broken the carpal right here on my wrist 3 times and the metacarpal here on my hand twice, because my opponent moved towards me as I was throwing the punch, thinking that I was going to make a fist at the last second before impact. Once you know how to make a proper fist, take notice on the shape of your wrist. If there is a bump in your wrist here, there's a good chance that it's going to buckle this way on contact. If it dips like this, there's a good chance that it's going to buckle this way on impact, and you're also going to be hitting with the wrong part of your hand. So what we're looking for is a slight bump right here, and your knuckles to be in line with your forearm bones, like this, all the way back to your elbow. What I've learned in my own experience is how to keep my elbow and my shoulder loose while also making a fist as I punch. What I used to do was try to keep my elbow and my shoulder loose and keep my hand relaxed, throw the punch with a snap from the shoulder, and clench a fist at the last possible second. That's how I broke my hand in the first place. What I now do instead is make a fist as solid as I can, and I want you guys to try this. Make a fist as solid as you can, flex, really squeeze your fist, and notice that you're flexing at the elbow and the shoulder. What I want you to do is keep this solid fist, but relax your elbow and your shoulder here. So your hands are solid, but your elbows and shoulders are nice and loose. Now from here, we can throw snappy punches while maintaining the integrity of our fist. There's only 3 types of punches: straights, hooks, and uppercuts. Everything else is a variation of one of those. Today, we're gonna learn 2 versions of the straight, 1 hook, and 1 uppercut. These make up the basic punches that you'd need for boxing, kickboxing, and MMA striking. Now let's get in our kickboxing stance. I'm gonna step back with my right foot, reach my hands out front, pull them back towards my face here. My jab works off of my lead arm. I'm gonna push my back foot into the floor, take a little step with my front foot, and then I throw my jab. When you throw this punch, it's very important that you lead with your weapon first. Your hand should lead your upper body when it moves forward. What a lot of beginners do is they step in, stop their body weight, and then try to drive just with their arm, just with the strength of their arm. What I want to see instead is you start to extend your arm, thumbs up, pinkies down, start to extend your arm, push off your back foot, and the weight of your body should be behind your punch just before it makes impact with the target. The next punch is your cross. So again, I'm in my kickboxing stance here. I'm going to push off my back foot, step in with my front foot, and as I do that, I'm going to slide my back foot up, dig it into the floor, and I push off here. I want to rotate my hip, extend my hand, turn it over, and bring it back. So it looks like this. Something I always tell new students, when you're throwing straight punches, imagine there is a tube right here in front of you, like a pipe. And when you throw your straight punches, you want to extend your hand all the way down the pipe, reach all the way through to the other side, and then bring it back all the way down the pipe. And this is true for both punches here. What I don't want to see is your elbows flare. That usually happens when people try to use their arms to throw the punches. They draw back and fire here. Keep the pipe in mind, right here in front of your face. Elbows down, thumbs up. You punch down the pipe nice and straight. And instead of flaring your elbow at the last second to turn your punch over, you're actually gonna turn it over in your shoulder socket and bring it back all the way down the pipe, all the way back. From the side, it looks like this. All the way down the pipe, all the way back. And turn over with your shoulder at the last possible second, as opposed to flaring your elbow. So again, go from this side, all the way down the pipe, turn over, all the way back. And my jab, all the way down the pipe, turn over, and bring it back. Okay, let's talk about my favorite punch. It's the lead hand hook. When you throw a hook, you're going to push off your back foot, step in with your front foot, slide up your back foot, and then turn your shoulders over here. You want to get your head over your front foot and your back shoulder to your chin right here. Now from here, what I want to do is I want to use my coiled up energy from my leg being bent, my hips twisting to the left, and my left shoulder sitting to the back. And off of that coiled up energy, I want to push my leg straight and twist out of this, rotate my shoulder, and throw the hook. That's a little wide. What I'd rather you guys do than flare your elbow that wide is from here, again, we're gonna throw like we're punching down the pipe, nice and tight. I'm gonna bring my shoulder to my jaw, and at the last second, if my target is here, I want to concentrate on getting my elbow up here and punching through the target here. I want to concentrate on punching all the way through, like I'm gonna try to hit myself in the back shoulder. We're never gonna get there because we're gonna bring up solid on our opponent's jaw. But again, we step in with the jab, step up with the cross, turn over, and put our head out over our front foot, back shoulder nice and tight to my jaw, coil up my body, make sure my lead shoulder's in the back. From here, I'm gonna push out of my bent leg, rotate my shoulder forward, start to extend my punch right here, and then pop my elbow up and punch through as I twist in my stance. And then reset. Now, the uppercut. Here's how this one works. I'm in my stance. From here, it's gonna be the same footwork as my cross. I step in with my front foot, catch up with my back foot, but from here I'm gonna do something different with my shoulder. Instead of extending my fist like I was gonna throw across, I'm actually gonna bring my lead shoulder back. So I step in the same way as a cross, but I bring my lead shoulder back. Now from here, I'm gonna push off my back leg, rotate my shoulder, and my hand right here, I don't want to extend it all the way down here. That's a common mistake I see people make, is they bring their hand all the way back to here, throw their hip, and then swing through with their arm. This is very much dependent on your legs and the rotation of your shoulder. So when you throw an uppercut, you step in, bring this shoulder back. You're only going to bring your hand away from your face a little bit. You're going to flare your elbow off your body just a bit. You're gonna drive off your back leg and rotate to here. Now from here, my fist should be lined up underneath my partner's chin. I'm gonna drive my hips forward and rotate my lead shoulder back here. So again, I step in with my front foot, catch up with my back foot and sit my shoulder back. From here, bring my hand away from my face a little bit and my elbow off my ribs a little bit. From here, I rotate my hips, drive my hips forward, roll my lead shoulder back, and uppercut on through, and then reset. So from the front, 2 steps, bring my rear shoulder back, hand leaves my face a little bit, elbow off the body, rotate, hips go in, lead shoulder goes back, throw the uppercut, and reset. Here's the relationship between those 4 punches. The end of one punch should be the perfect starting position for the next punch. What I mean by that is this. If I push off my back foot and step in with my front foot, leading with my hand, I just threw a jab. From this position here, it should just be another little movement to step up with my back foot, roll my shoulders, and throw a cross. At the end of my cross, I should be in the perfect position to throw a hook. And at the end of the hook, I should be in the perfect position to throw the uppercut. Okay, again from the side. If I push off my back foot, step with my front foot, extend my jab, I should be in the perfect position to step up with my back foot, turn my hip, throw the cross. From here, I should be in the perfect position to turn over to throw the hook. And at the end of my hook, I should be in the perfect position to turn over and throw the uppercut. Here's a drill you guys can do, just for rhythm. You're gonna rotate in your stance, jab, cross, hook, uppercut. And these should flow one into another. I'm concentrating on making a tight fist by keeping loose with my elbows and shoulders. And from the side. So I'm going to use my good buddy Bob here to help me show you how to make impact with a punch. When you make impact with a punch, your top 2 knuckles has to hit the target area. If you hit with any other part of your hand, you risk damaging your wrist, your knuckles, or the bones right here in your hand. So here's what I want you to do. When you throw your jab, your goal is to always hit the mask of the face right here. I'm gonna practice by pushing off with my back foot, stepping with my front foot, and I just wanna snap my jab on the surface area of my opponent. Every time you punch, make sure your shoulder comes in contact with your chin around the same time your knuckles come in contact with your opponent. Here. With my cross, my target below the cheekbone and in front of the ear. Anywhere on the jaw right here is a great target for your cross. You never want to lead with your cross. You always want to throw your cross when you've already been able to make contact with your jab. What I mean by that is, if I throw my jab to measure the distance between my opponent and I can't hit them, I never want to throw my cross because I'm gonna reach, I'm gonna miss, I'm gonna leave myself open. Your jab then becomes a specific tool for measuring the distance between you and your opponent. What I mean by that is this. I'm squared up with my opponent, I'm throwing some jabs, seeing how they react. I'm never gonna throw my cross, my hook, or my uppercut until I've already made impact with my jab. When I make impact with my jab, I know where my opponent is. That's when I wanna start following with power punches. Your jab is a measuring tool. Your cross, your hook, your uppercut, those are the ones that you're really trying to make impact with. When you're able to touch with your jab, stop moving your feet, plant your feet for your power punches, and sit down on your punches. What I mean by that is if I'm able to move on my jab, I want to sit down when I throw power punches like my cross, my hook, and my uppercut. When you throw your cross, turn it over, straight punch, down the pipe, shoulder hits my jaw, and I make impact with my top 2 knuckles. This side of the cheek, this side of his jaw is the side I want to hit with the hook. Depending on the height of my opponent, the distance between the two of us, that's gonna determine where my elbow is with my hook. How I like to throw my hooks personally is this: off my cross, I'm down here, I wanna corkscrew my punch up on a slight angle this way. When I throw this punch, I'm driving off my hip, I'm rotating my shoulder, I flare my elbow at the last second, and I want to connect below the cheek, in front of the ear, anywhere on my opponent's jaw right here. And the last punch, the uppercut, change Bob around to fix the angle a little bit. From here, dip my back shoulder, bring my hand off my face a little bit and my elbow off my ribs. I rotate my hips, drive my hips forward, pull my lead shoulder back, and I want to make impact here underneath the chin on the jaw. I don't recommend punching regularly with no hand wraps or gloves on, but I have found it's a good way to train your knuckles how to line up properly in a fist for making impact on a punch. So with a surface like this, maybe you guys can adjust the bag, flat surface on the bag, and practice to see if your fist is lined up properly by making impact on the bag here. Basic punches, and just notice if you're generating any wrist or hand pain with how you punch. If you are, you might want to look at how you're throwing punches, how you've made a fist in the first place. What I mean by that is if I'm throwing punches here and I'm hitting with my pinky, I'm gonna notice pain here in my fingers and probably back here in my wrist. So I want to slow my punch down, curl my wrist, and make sure my elbow is behind my knuckles at the moment of impact. Okay, let's see how we put all this together. Do a little bit of a bag workout. So from here, I'm in my stance. I just want to practice stepping in, connecting with my jab, and stepping back. Stepping in, connecting, stepping back. When I can connect my jab with my target, that's when I want to step up with my back foot and connect with my cross and step back. When I can connect with my first two punches, I want to practice connecting with all four punches. So step in with my jab, catch up with my cross, throw my hook, throw my uppercut, and then step back. So jab, cross, hook, uppercut. Jab, cross, hook, uppercut. The whole time you're doing this, you want to practice punching from your defensive stance, and at the end of your punch, your hand should automatically come back to that defensive position. One of the worst habits I see people doing is throwing their punch, then let it trailing forward and dropping. Instead of that, what I want you to do is throw your punch, bring it all the way back to your guard. Throw your punch, bring it all the way back to your guard. So when you're doing all four punches, it should look like this. If you haven't already, go back and check out my video on how to get into your basic kickboxing stance. If you got anything out of this, please like and subscribe. And if you have any martial arts related questions, just put them in the comments section below. I'm Michael Foley. I'll see you on the mats.